The clock on the wall ticked steadily, each second marked by a quiet, unwavering rhythm. In the dim light of the living room, 12-year-old Clara sat cross-legged on the faded carpet, her back against the armrest of the old couch. Shadows danced around the edges of the room as the sun surrendered to a murky twilight, leaving only the dim glow of a brass lamp illuminating her large, anxious eyes. Her fingers fidgeted with the corner of an old photograph, its back worn and fragile, the face within scratched out beyond recognition. Every firstborn in the Hawthorne family had shared the same dream for generations. Clara had begun to recount it in hushed tones, her voice trembling with each word. It started in a field of silence, enveloped in a dense fog that carried the chill of 1,000 forgotten whispers. The air was stale, and though the ground felt solid beneath her, an underlying tremor seemed to pulse through the earth. With every telling, the details emerged sharper, clearer. She described a creaking sound, a door slowly opening somewhere just out of sight. It bore an almost human-like quality, its hinges groaning with weight and age. The scent of wet earth and decaying leaves filled her nostrils, a pungent reminder of decay lurking nearby. Clara shivered as she spoke, the fear wrapping around her like a cold blanket. As her family gathered around to listen, she could see their expressions shift to unease. There was a stirring in the air, a palpable tension like the build-up before a storm. Her grandmother, lips pressed tight and knuckles white against the arm of the chair, nodded in recognition. She had told the story so many times herself, and the legacy of the dream hung heavily over them all. Then came the final fragment of each nightmare, a shadow flickering just beyond her peripheral vision. It would pass under the closed door, heavy and ominous, each time she tried to turn and face it. The fear held her in place, ensnaring her limbs as if she were a puppet strung by invisible threads. Her voice dropped to a whisper as she recalled the weight of those unseen eyes watching her, the suffocating pressure that pulled her deeper into the fog. On this particular night, something ominous lingered in the air. As Clara recounted the disquieting twist, every firstborn had reported one last encounter, a face without features, just an outline in the fog, an echo of the family curse. She closed her eyes, gripping the photograph tighter, feeling the jagged edges dig into her palm. Suddenly, the rocking chair across the room began to sway gently, unbidden. Clara's heart raced as the sound of creaking wood filled the silence, its rhythmic motion betraying no one in the room. Her grandmother's eyes shot toward it, wide with sudden alertness, as the air seemed to grow thicker. They all recognized that movement, an invitation, a beckoning. In that moment, the dream blended with reality, and as the chair rocked, Clara was pulled into an image she had never shared, a moment she had never lived. She saw it with horrifying clarity, a blurred child's face, an unnatural smile, the same eyes that had once stared blankly back at her so many nights ago. Clara knew then, with visceral certainty, that the dream was not merely a figment. It was a tether, tying her to every firstborn before her. The nights stretched long, their breaths fogging the air, as an understanding swept through the room, the weight of history, of shared nightmares. With the dawn creeping through the curtains, Clara would no longer be just another string in the tapestry of their family curse. Today she would find a way to sever it. They gathered at the old oak tree behind the house, another relic of the family's deep-rooted fears. Clara clutched the photograph in her hand, her resolve hardening. "No more," she whispered, stepping forward to bury it in the earth. "No more will I let the fog and whispers bind me." With each scoop of dirt, a collective breath released, a silent promise that the nightmares would die with her. And as Clara stood, feeling the warmth of the sun on her face, she sensed a shift in the air around her, like the first breath after a long-held gasp. The shadows of the past faded into the horizon, leaving her free. The ticking of the clock no longer sounded like a countdown, but a heartbeat, steady and unfaltering, as she turned away, realizing the legacy woven through her family was finally broken.